What if the fear you feel was never accidental? What if every market crash, every inflation surge, every global shock wasn't a failure of the system, but the system working exactly as it was designed? What if chaos isn't a side effect, but the business model? Because every perfectly timed panic, every staged collapse, doesn't just hurt the public. It transfers wealth to those who saw it coming, or even caused it. You were taught to trust the system, to play by the rules, but no one told you the rules were written by those who profit from your confusion. This game was never broken, it was rigged from the start. And once you begin to see what's really moving behind the headlines, you'll realize the financial world isn't chaotic at all. It's calculated, and those calculations don't include you unless you learn to see them. Chapter 1. The Calm Before Control. You were told the world is built on order, that leaders are steering the ship, that markets are free, fair, and rational. But what if the calm is the most dangerous illusion of all? Because under every period of peace, there's a storm being prepared. As Carl Jung once said, the most dangerous thing is illusion. The second most dangerous is comfort within it. The truth no one tells you, chaos is profitable, and those who know how to engineer it rule the game. Markets don't crash by accident. Inflation doesn't spiral for no reason. Trade wars don't erupt spontaneously. These are tools, weapons used to transfer wealth from the unaware to the prepared. And if you don't see it, you're already part of the plan. Chapter 2. Fear is the currency of control. Every crisis starts with a spark, but the spark is rarely random. A single speech tanks a currency. A tariff on a minor import sends markets into chaos. A data leak, coincidentally, precedes $1 billion short. This isn't noise, it's choreography. As Napoleon Bonaparte once said, men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. They need fear because fear moves money, fear blinds logic, and in that blindness, billions are harvested. Remember this, fear is not just an emotion, it's a business model. And the more terrified you are, the more powerful someone else becomes. Chapter 3. The Hidden Mechanism of Modern Slavery. Inflation is not a side effect, it's a strategy. You feel it at the grocery store, you feel it at the pump, but by the time you notice, the damage is done. Your salary didn't shrink, but your buying power vanished. And that loss, it didn't disappear into the air. It transferred upward. As Milton Friedman once said, inflation is taxation without legislation. Every printed dollar that enters the system makes your savings weaker. That inflates the assets of those who own everything. It's not a mistake, it's an extraction process. And every time they say stimulus, what they really mean is redistribution, disguised as relief. You're told to invest for the long term, to buy and hold, to trust the system, but while you're watching candlesticks, they're pulling strings behind curtains. Markets react to news, right? In the short term. Maybe, but the truth is, the answer's no. They react to narratives, and the narrative is built for one purpose: predictable panic. The moment retail traders flood in, liquidity rises, the trap is set. Then, a policy shift, a tweet, a conveniently timed downgrade, and the sell-off begins. You run, they feast. They didn't just survive the crash, they designed it. Chapter 4. The Winners You Never See. Wars, pandemics, financial meltdowns. Every disaster has a human cost, but behind the grief and confusion, someone is always collecting. Oil spikes, arms deals. Bank collapses, private buyouts. Currency devaluation, massive debt forgiveness, but for the right players only. As Voltaire once said, if you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize. The ones who win, they don't campaign. They don't trend, they don't even speak, they work in silence. They fund both sides. They short what they've insured. They build when others flee. They are the architects of chaos, and they only play games they can't lose. Confusion is power, because when you're lost, you'll follow anything that feels certain. A slogan, a policy, a savior. Meanwhile, while you're focused on headlines, the real transactions happen in silence. You're watching markets, they're buying farmland. You're arguing about rates, they're rewriting the monetary system. Every distraction is calculated. Every breaking news is a curtain. And behind that curtain, deals are made. Laws get broken. Big moves, none of which you voted for. You were never meant to understand the game. You were meant to fund it. Chapter 5. The cycle they never want to end. It always follows the same rhythm. Stimulate the economy. Inflate everything. Crash the market. Buy the pieces. Rebuild the illusion. Then do it again. Boom, bust, bail out. Each phase has a purpose. Each crisis clears the board for a new concentration of power. Wealth doesn't vanish in a crash. It changes hands. And 90% of the time, it flows from the many to the very, very few. As Mark Twain once said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Because in a rigged game, loss is just a mechanism for redistribution. You were trained to fear volatility, to avoid risk, to stay passive. But the elites, they thrive on volatility. They see risk as a ladder. They don't predict the future, they shape it. They build positions in silence, then unleash chaos for profit. If you don't know the cycle, you'll always be on the wrong side of the trade. So stop listening to what they say and watch what they do. Follow the money, follow the silence, follow the fear, because that's where the setup always begins. You don't have to play their game, but if you don't understand it, you will be played by it. Breaking the spell, the power of seeing clearly. By now you know, the system isn't broken, it's designed. Carefully crafted to distract you, not destroy you. To keep you emotional, reactive, blind to the real game. Because when you're distracted, you don't think. And when you don't think, you follow. But as Sun Tzu said, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. The chaos is not the enemy, it's the disguise. Millions have tried to fight the system and failed, not because they were weak, but because they never understood the rules. Only a few step back, observe, see clearly, and once they do, they stop being pawns, they become players. What if you could do the same? What if the way out isn't about beating the system, but learning how to play it smarter? In a world built on deception, clarity is power. Clarity is rebellion, because the moment you truly see the game, you stop playing to survive and start playing to win. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found value in this video and learned something new, give it a thumbs up twice if you did. It helps us reach more people who are eager to learn and take charge of their financial future. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.